Hello, welcome to vlog number, what is it, 4, I think. Um, yeah, so this section was primarily about writing. The first part was about story, but of course that plays right into writing. Um, Writing is, like, pretty much more than anything else, it's like the backbone of a good film. Like, more often than not, uh, a, a movie lives or dies on its writing. Like, if the writing is bad, but everything else is done fine, then the movie's usually not going to turn out that well. Sometimes it happens, but it's pretty rare. Um, um, I like the that this book mentioned comedies as being something that where writing is important, because it seems like people often don't really understand that. Like, people think that comedies basically just rely on a good performance in order to be good and funny or whatever, or good directing as well. That helps. But mostly it's performance that people focus on for a comedy. Like, if you have a if you have this funny person in your movie, then your movie's going to be funny, right? Well, not really the case. I mean, I hate to mention it because a lot of people seem to like to hate this movie, but for like all the wrong reasons. Uh, the Ghostbusters remake. Of course, I'm not saying I hate the movie because it's women. Obviously not. In fact, pretty much all of the leads in that movie are very funny people. And that was basically the idea that seemed to be going on to go into that movie is, oh, we have all these funny people in our movie. Let's just sit them down and just have them say some stuff. Like, not give them any script or anything. Just give them like the scenario that they're in, and just have them work with that. Because basically most of the movie is just improv, which, oh boy, that is a big mistake. Because can improv fails like 90% of the time. I gotta say. Uh, so everything just kind of feels like an SNL skit. If you like the movie, that's fine. It's very subjective, but yeah. Whereas something like the original, for instance, relied on a lot on its writing to just be something that's regarded as a classic and just something basically everyone likes. Like, you never met someone that doesn't like Ghostbusters? Seriously? Um, yeah. Uh, Story is something that's generally like unimportant to comedies, and I think that's part of like why people that think that writing isn't that important, because story is not important. Because you can easily have like a good comedy that has a very simple story. In fact, sometimes having a complex story just does nothing but get in the way of a good comedy. Like, all it does is really just distract it from it, when really it shouldn't be. Uh, it feels like because of that, a lot of people tend to lessen the importance of writing and that sort of aspect. Anyways, something. that I would have liked to seen in this section is something along the lines of a list of common tropes and traps that writers often fall into. Because it's apparently pretty hard to avoid those things for most people. Because it's just like the thing that you immediately think of, and it's something that makes so much sense. Because, well, it's only because so many other people do it, you know? But yeah, maybe that's just me. Uh, I'm kind of the type of person who really tries hard to avoid kind of cliches. Uh, at least in like character building and stuff. Like for instance, going back to D&D, when I'm making a character, uh, I really am not interested in like using one of your standard fantasy races. You know, like your elves, your dwarves, your humans, your halflings, your whatever. Because I just find it kind of boring. Instead, you'll see that I kind of strive for unique sort of characters. You know, like for instance, I have Bubbles, who is basically an octopus person. I also have Scarla, who is like this alien moth. And now I actually have like a new character named Dr. Cosmo. Uh, they're basically a talking plant that is also a mad scientist in like a mech suit. I'm literally not kidding. Like I could show you a picture of it if you really want to see it. I think you'd get a kick out of it. Uh, but yeah, I think it would be pretty nice to have like a handy little guide to avoiding certain sorts of cliches, just in case people really want to just think about their story differently, how to make characters a little more interesting, a little more unique, how to make one thing that I hate in a lot of movies is how relationships are written. Oh boy, I think people in Hollywood have like a lot of just weird issues and hangups about like what makes a good relationship because pretty much everything you see in movies, it's all the relationships you see are just so awful. They're so bad. It is so rare to find like two characters that actually have like a believable relationship that isn't like something really toxic or has any like big problematic aspects of it. It is so weird. I think that's just something due to the kind of sinister nature of Hollywood, to be honest. Because a lot of the films where you see good relationships are from areas kind of outside the big film industry. You know, like where you like central Hollywood. You know, like where they make the big blockbusters and stuff. Uh, yeah, I think that's all about all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.